these wonderful reels unfold in front of him. Mahmood Hussein Mattan, my brother, my sister, when he was of age, by the age of 20, he was already working as a seaman. He loved it. He loved the smell of the sea. He loved the seagulls. He loved to see the horizon far away. And he loved to hear the music made by the waves that hit the side of the ship. Mahmood Hussein Mattan, my brother, my sister, was living his own dream and destiny. He loved the sea. Now he was traveling on the ship, left, right, and center to different parts of Africa. Some time ago, he was in this country called Ghana. Oh gosh. And he loved to be in this country. Sometimes he went to Arabia. Other times, he even went to Kenya. But on this journey, he arrived in England. And when he arrived in England, remember, he came from the British Protectorate of Somaliland, British Somaliland. So he was used to the English language. And he was used to the English people. At least so he thought. So when he arrived in England, he told himself, I have arrived. This is a beautiful country. Look at what he did. He arrived in Wales. And then he settled in Tiger Bay in the Docks district of Cardiff. In fact, Cardiff is a very popular place in England. Now, when he arrived in Cardiff, Wales, my brother, my sister, he was so excited. Sometimes he would be in London. Other times he would go all the way to Birmingham, Brighton. And he loved Brighton because of the wonderful sea that he had access to. He loved England. He loved Wales. And he settled in Tiger Bay in the Docks district of Cardiff. And when he arrived, he saw this pretty white woman. Her name was Laura Williams. Laura Williams. She was working in a paper factory not far away from where he lived in the Docks district of Cardiff. They started to talk. In fact, it was Laura who first approached him. He said, I like the shade of your skin. I like the way it brightens when the sun rays come on that. And at a point, she felt that she could wipe off the blackness from the skin of this person as if he had intentionally painted himself black. As they grew, their friendship also grew. Their relationship grew. Until our hero for today, Hussein Mahmood Mattan, decided that this was the love of his life and he wanted to marry this lady by name Laura Williams. Now, Laura Williams was 11 years older than our hero, Mahmood Hussein Mattan. But age, as they say, is nothing but a number. They decided to come together. Age, time after time, they were hand in hand. They were in the bedroom. Everywhere they went, whether it was the bedroom, the kitchen, outside, it was just splendid. But people envied them and loathed them. How could a white woman descend so lowly and allow herself to be mated by a black man? They insulted them on the streets. Their relationship had a lot of fights. It wasn't long when Miss Williams got pregnant and had the first child. Oh, the African man was so fertile. He fired another shot. She got pregnant again and had another baby. He fired a third shot. She got pregnant again. Oh my God. And gave birth to another baby. But it came to a time the two of them couldn't walk openly on the streets. They had insults. Sometimes people even throwing paper cups at them. My brother, my sister, they had 3 children. But in 1950, listen to this story properly. 1950, our hero was only 27 years old. In fact, 1950, the 27-year-old Mahmood Hussein Mattan and his wife, Miss Laura Williams, decided to part ways because the relationship had been attacked several times. Some people even threatened to visit them with harm. Some people even said they would slaughter the man. But he was ready to be slaughtered for love. But Laura Williams said, it's not worth it. Please, let's separate. So they separated, even though it was not the wish of our hero for today. They separated, but they lived in the same area. And they now lived in two different houses. Hear what happened now. Mattan was so disappointed. He left the merchant navy in 1949. Just before they finally separated. And then by 1952, he had done so many different jobs, including working in the steel factory and also working in the glass factory. He was no more interested in sea life. He was doing different jobs. The worst was yet to come. Now there was a woman by name Lily Volpet. Now Lily Volpet was a 42-year-old woman who owned a general shop for clothing in the Cardiff Docklands area. In fact, she was murdered on the 6th of March, the Independence Day of Ghana. But in 1952, she was murdered. How did the murder happen? After closing the shop at around 8:05 in the night, she was about to have supper with her family in the back room. Is the kind of shop that is attached to a house. So when she closed it, she just went into the house to try and have a supper with her family. In the back room, when the doorbell rang, her sister and mother saw a man outside the door of the shop, and Lily went to deal with him. After all, she was the shop owner. A few minutes later, her niece saw her talking to an apparently different man at the door. That means another man came along. Soon afterwards, her dead body was found in the shop by another customer. Her throat had been cut with a sharp razor, and it seemed that at least 100 pounds sterling was stolen from her. And this was 1952. Now 100 pounds would be 3,000 pounds plus in 2022. And this money had been stolen from the shop. It was a lot of money, even today. Now the Cardiff police investigated a number of local men, including Mattan, but they found nothing suspicious in his house. Our hero had nothing in the house. No money. The stolen money was not found there. There was no sharp implement in his house. There was absolutely nothing but food and love letters he had shared with his girlfriend then, who became his wife, Miss Williams. My brother, my sister, remember at this time he and Laura Williams had separated, and this was a woman who was murdered by name Lily Volpet, and Volpet is spelled Volpert. So the police investigated. Now listen to how the story went. Now the Cardiff City Police investigated a number of local men, including Mattan. About 2 hours after the murder, 2 detectives visited his house and questioned him. They found nothing suspicious. Nothing at all. Later, other witnesses contradicted Mattan's alibi, and the police interrogated him at length and organized an identification parade, as they did in those days and even now, to try and find out if any of the witnesses would recognize him as one of the men that spoke to the lady who was murdered the night that she was murdered. But none of them was able to point him out and say, oh, this is the man. None of them. Now they also questioned two women, and this is very important, students. Now two other women were questioned by the police. Number one, Mary Tolley was questioned, and Margaret Bush was also questioned. My brother, my sister, the two of them, note these names very carefully. Mary Tolley and Margaret Bush, they were questioned, and they had been in the shop with the woman before the shop was closed, the night that the woman was killed. They gave detailed statements, but never mentioned that Mattan was seen even in the shop. In fact, one of them even said she hadn't seen the man for over 1 month, even though he lived just around the area there. So the two women also exonerated our hero for today, Mattan. But remember, he was one of the few black people who lived in the Cardiff area that had all white people. The police still went around with photographs showing people with the hope that they will be able to find somebody saying that, oh, I know this person, and this person was close to the murder scene. But following further intensive questioning, one of the women we talked about, Mary Tolley, changed her statement, in which she said Mattan had come into the shop whilst they were there and had left. But her companion, the other woman, Margaret Bush, still said that she had not seen Mattan for over 1 month. Mattan was arrested immediately after this woman said, Mary Tolley said, that he was in the shop that day. Oh my God, he had come there. When he was arrested, they decided to lock him up whilst investigations went on. Mary Tolley later made a further statement in which she said she had not seen Mattan leave the shop. So police assumed that if Mattan came to the shop, he hid in the shop because they did not see him leave the shop. So when people left, Mattan hid in the shop and killed the woman, Lily Volpet. So you see, the two women first said, we never saw this man. One of them changed their statement and said, I saw him that day he came, but I didn't even see him leave. Maybe he hid in the shop and killed the woman. Why did the story change? There was a gift that was coming from the family of the murdered woman, Lily Volpet, for anybody who would volunteer information that would lead to the arrest of this person, the killer. So it probably was to get the prize money. My brother, my sister, they arrested our hero, took him to court. His lawyer stood by him. Oh my God. The prosecution case was presented at the committal proceedings in Cardiff Magistrates Court on the 16th of April 1952 all the way down to the 18th. My brother, my sister, the police confronted Mattan with another witness, a 12-year-old girl who had called at the shop at around 8 p.m. and had seen a dark-skinned man nearby. But she said Mattan was not the man she had seen. My brother, later we will find out who this black man was. Now during the hearing, Mary Tolley changed her evidence again, failing to identify Mattan as the man who had come into the shop. But another witness, Harold Cover, and take note of this, is very important. Another witness, a black man, listen, Jamaican. Note this, a Jamaican by name Harold Cover also came along to the police with a story. But he was a man who was known with a history of violence. He was the one who said he identified Mattan and that he saw Mattan at the shop. He had walked past the shop around the time of the murder and had seen two Somalis outside. One was walking out of the porch, and the other, a 6-foot tall man, was standing near the door. In court, he said the first man was Mattan. In fact, he had earlier identified the first man as another Somali living in the area at the time, but he changed his story again. And this other Somali, please listen, was called Tahir Gas. Tahir is spelled Tahir. Gas is Gass. So there are two Somalis in this case. Our hero Mahmood Hussein Mattan and Tahir Gas. They were the two Somalis in the area, and the Jamaican man by name, my brother, my sister, Harold Cover, said that he saw these Somalis around the shop at the time of the murder. My brother, my sister, Mattan was convicted, and when the trial went on, no matter what his lawyer did, even the police told him, you will suffer death whether you did it or not. We hate you, my brother, my sister. So it took the Jamaican man's witness story to convict our hero for today, Mahmood Hussein Mattan. And the Jamaican man took half of the prize money. He took it away. I'm going to return to this Jamaican man later, and the other Somali man called Tahir Gas. Our hero Mattan was refused an appeal, and on the 3rd day of September, a day before after I was born, but this time in 1952, 6 months after the murder of Lily Volpet, he was hanged at the Cardiff prison, and it went into the record books. He was the last man to be hanged in the Cardiff prison. Anytime you are in England, make it to the Cardiff prison. Go to Wales, check it out, and remember this story that I'm telling you. Mahmood Hussein Mattan, a brother from Somalia, fell in love with a white woman. Jealousy and fight and racism ended the relationship. There was a charge of murder. It took a black man, Jamaican man, to stand as a witness to get this man convicted. My brother, my sister, they hanged him on the 3rd day of September 1952. By 1952, he was only about 29 years old, right? 29. He was not even 30. He was gone. He died. My brother, my sister. But look at what happened. You remember the other Somali called Tahir Gas? 2 years after our hero Mattan was hanged, Tahir Gas, the man seen outside Lily Volpe's shop by the Jamaican man Harold Cover, was convicted of murdering a man by name Granville Jenkins in a country lane near Newport, Monmouthshire. Jenkins had been stabbed to death in a frenzied attack. At Gas's trial, medical evidence was presented that he was suffering from schizophrenia and was delusional. He was found to be insane and sent to Broadmoor. And less than a year later, he was discharged and repatriated to Somalia. Later, part of Somalia and now Somaliland. My brother, my sister. So he was insane. Tahir Gas, the other Somali. Now listen to this interesting thing. Now the Jamaican man by name Harold Cover, in 1969, several years, my brother, my sister, about 17 years after the hanging, the execution of our hero Mahmood Hussein Mattan, in 1969, Harold Cover was convicted of the attempted murder of his own daughter in Cardiff, the Jamaican man, by cutting her throat with an open razor, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. My brother, my sister, life imprisonment. the Jamaican man. My brother, my sister, his own daughter, he tried to slice her throat with a sharp object, the same way Lily Volpet was killed. And it took this same Jamaican man, Harold Cover, to get Mattan convicted and even executed. Mattan's middle son was named Omar. He was found dead on a Scottish beach in 2003, and an open verdict was returned. His son, his last son, was also slaughtered. He was killed. My brother, my sister, this is the class. My brother, my sister, we are about to end the class. Now, the first attempt to overturn Mattan's conviction came in 1969. After Harold Cover's conviction for attempted murder, they realized that Harold Cover could have actually been the murderer of Lily Volpot, but he went for the prize money and lied that it was the Somali. After all, the police instead was interested in hanging the black man who they hated for going after a white woman. Hey, my brother, my sister, but the Home Secretary James Callaghan decided not to reopen the case. He refused that he will not reopen the case. By this stage, 3 years had passed since the death penalty abolition. So there was no longer any death penalty in Cardiff and the whole of the Wales. But in 1996, the family was given permission to have Mattan's body exhumed and moved from a felon's grave at the prison to be buried in a consecrated ground in a Cardiff cemetery. His tombstone says, "Killed by injustice." When you happen to be in Cardiff, please go to the cemetery and look for the grave of Hussein, our hero for today. Oh Jesus, they killed him. My brother, my sister, they tried, but something interesting happened. There was a new law that brought about the Criminal Cases Review Commission, and now cases that were not handled well could be reopened by force. And the family of Hussein decided to go in, and they appealed. On February 24, 1998, they went into the appeal and they won the appeal. On the 3rd of September 2022, this year, the 70th anniversary of Mattan's execution, it was announced that South Wales Police, which the former Cardiff City Police is now part of, had issued an apology to Mattan's family, admitting that the prosecution was flawed. But this person had already been killed. Only 2 months ago in September, the month of my birth, the Cardiff Police, which was part of South Wales Police, my brother, my sister, announced that they had made a mistake and that they regretted it. At that time, our hero had already been killed. In popular culture, Nadifa Muhammad's novel, The Fortune Men, which was released in 2021, is based on the murder of Lily Volpet and the trial and execution of Mahmood Hussein Mattan. It was listed for the 2021 Booker Prize. Today, my brother, my sister, we remember a man who came all the way from Africa, found love, and the love sent him to his grave. Today we remember, oh Papa, we remember a man who thought he had found a home, who thought his dream was coming to pass. Oh Papa. Papa, yeah, Papa, where ya? Papa, where you go? Papa, me see, Papa, yo. Papa, Papa, oh, Papa. Na sorry kakra. Papa na kasa kakra. Uni yamiko. Damri fadweo. Yeah. Uni yamiko wate. Yeah, Papa, miss uni yamiko wate. Uni yamiko. Oh, Papa. He came all the way from Africa. He came all the way through different countries in Africa and even beyond. When he arrived in Wales, he told himself, this is the land I want to spend the rest of my life in. He found love. Love became hate. People fought this relationship. Then a white woman was killed, and they said it was him, even though there was no evidence whatsoever. It took another black man. In fact, one Harold cover from Jamaica, all because of a prize money that the family had come out with. He went and lied and took the money. My brother, my sister, shared it with a white woman called Mary. After that, an innocent soul was hanged. They killed him in 1952, the 3rd of September. When he died, 70 years later, there was an apology from the Cardiff police, New South Wales police, that they made a mistake. The Jamaican man later tried to kill his own daughter, the same way Lily Volpet was killed. And he was put in prison for life. Today, my brother, my sister, here we go. In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, how will the story of Hussein Mahmood Mattan impact your own life? How will the story impact your life? In the burden of knowledge, I ask you, now that you know, what would you do? Be an aniolea mini obafe, yenzunda kagane mezaka yine, ye pabango. Yeah.